This is a Fox News alert. ICE has just released brand new numbers and statistics on the arrests of illegals in the United States so far in calendar year 2018.
That's right. This includes a 10% increase in administrative arrests of illegal aliens.
The numbers even surprise us. But what about Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, who submitted them to us after the totals? She joins us right now. Ms. Secretary, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Good morning.
These numbers are pretty staggering. 90%, 9 out of 10 aliens arrested had criminal convictions and pending criminal charges or previously issued final orders?
Yes, that's correct. And to your original question, no, I'm not surprised. The men and women of ICE work hard every day to secure this country despite limitations from Congress. So we've seen a 10% increase in both arrests and removals.
The rest of that graphic we just put up says nearly a 50% increase in the arrests of illegal aliens with criminal histories. When you see that number, explain why that's important.
Well, I think it goes to show that what we're prioritizing is the safety and public safety of our communities. So first and foremost, we're looking for illegal aliens who have also committed crimes in our country or another country, and to make sure that we remove them to protect our communities.
What about the amount of drugs? Homeland Security investigators, they seized nearly 900,000 pounds of narcotics so far this year, and we still have 2 more weeks to go.
Yeah, this is another really important part of our mission. The entire department actually contributes to the mission of removing drugs from the streets. And that's in addition to 1.3 million pounds that CBP has interdicted at our borders.
Wow. So when the president got some blowback saying we found terrorists, 10 terrorists over the last few weeks when he had that famous Oval Office exchange on Tuesday, you say not only have you found a number to back that up?
Yeah, so we basically what that number references is every day the Department of Homeland Security prevents 10 known or suspected terrorists from traveling to our country, and those are the ones we know about. So that's why the information sharing baselines that we've put into place, the partnerships with foreign countries, and making sure that we know who is coming here and what they intend to do is just vital for our security.
What do you know about this little girl, the 7-year-old migrant girl that was taken into Border Patrol custody and then died of dehydration and exhaustion?
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching is what it is, and my heart goes out to the family, all of DHS. You know, this is just a very sad example of the dangers of this journey. This family chose to cross illegally. What happened here was they were about 90 miles away from where we could process them. They came in such a large crowd that it took our Border Patrol folks a couple times to get them all. We gave immediate care. We'll continue to look into the situation. But again, I cannot stress how dangerous this journey is when migrants choose to come here illegally.
Yeah, I understand she had 105 fever, and you guys got her over to a hospital in El Paso. Were unable to save her life.
Madam Secretary, tell us a little bit about the status of the caravan right now. I know a couple of days ago some members delivered a letter to the consulate in Tijuana. They're demanding that you speed up the asylum process. They're also demanding $50,000 in some cases so they can go home. What's the latest on that stuff?
I just, you know, as an American, I think that's outrageous. I mean, this is a group, unfortunately, not everybody in the caravan, but these are folks in the caravan who have made political demands. They've asked us to intervene in the government of Honduras. They've demanded that Americans pay them $50,000 each, and they've demanded that we change the way in which we do immigration and protect our border. These are not migrants who are seeking asylum.
Well, Republicans are digging in because Democrats are saying we're not going to give you the money. We saw that meeting with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in the Oval Office. President says he wants $5 billion. What's the status of this? What do you think will happen?
You know, the status is this is just a terrible example of politics at its worst. Democrats have voted for the wall before. In fact, they appropriated money for the wall just last year. Nothing has changed. In fact, the numbers have gone up. The security risks have gone up. We stopped thousands of special interest aliens at the border last year, thousands of criminals. We know there's criminals in this flow. The need for the wall has never been clearer. Walls work. And yet Democrats are saying they will not fund the wall.
Well, where would you especially need it? Because I understand 42% of the illegals come through a certain sector. And would you be able to maybe outline exactly what you need and where you need it?
Sure, we've done that. So we have a full border security investment plan that we've provided to Congress. It walks through every priority area. We're looking to fund the first 17 first, but you're exactly right. We know where those smuggler routes are. And that, first and foremost, is where we need that combination of wall, infrastructure, and personnel.
And if we had that, would that reduce those numbers you released to us just moments ago?
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen walls work. That's the facts. We've seen that in Yuma. We've seen that in San Diego, El Paso, Nogales. Where we have wall, that illegal flow has dropped somewhere between 90 to 95%. That is substantial.
Is there a way you could do the job if you don't get the funding for the wall? Because I know we saw Tijuana, that port of entry, you were shutting it down. You had all those troops down there at the border trying to prevent people from coming over. You put the barbed wire, on the fence. Is there a way that you can do it if you don't get the funding for the wall?
What I will tell you is this president has made it clear that he will secure this country. So everything is on the table. We will continue to use everything at our disposal to protect the American people and ensure a safe and orderly process. So I think we'll continue to do everything we can, but I do hope Congress does their job and funds a major security need.
Secretary Nielsen, the president said he really likes you. He talks about how smart you are, but he'd like to see you tougher. Have you talked to him about that? And what is your status now for the next 2 years?
Yeah, so we talk almost every day. We are aligned on the need for border security, the need to ensure the safe and orderly flow. It's my privilege to work on behalf of the American people, and I'll continue to do it and make sure that DHS has the support, tools, and resources they need to do this job.
Right. The president made it clear in that Oval Office meeting that shutting down the government would be worth it to get the wall. Do you feel the same way?
I think the president is being a leader on this. He is drawing a line, and he is saying we're either going to have security or we're not. It's our sovereign responsibility to do so. He takes it very seriously. He's asking Congress to do their job. All
right. Well, it's a real pleasure having you here on Fox and Friends this morning, releasing that exclusive data. Now everybody's got it. Kirstjen Nielsen, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.